What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we are back with another episode of Monday Night Raw Review. This is your official Monday Night Raw Review, but before we get into that, we do want to cover a couple things from this past weekend. We've had a couple of people getting ill, a couple sicknesses, a couple injuries, with Braun Strowman being sent home from illness, but he was on tonight's show, so everything must be cleared up with him. Paige suffered some kind of injury from taking a stiff kick from Sasha Banks in the back, and she was in a tape segment tonight, so I don't know what the full extent of her injury is, but hopefully it is all fine and good with Paige, and she'll be on the road with them in no time. Also, I'd like to thank everybody who watched my Monday Night Raw review or listened to it last week. 1.5 thousand plus views. Thank you guys so much. I wish SmackDown and NXT got a little bit more love too. I don't know what made the final Raw's review of 2017 as popular as it was, but I thank you guys anyway. I'd like to see some comments too on what you guys thought of the show were. But tonight's show, it's a new year, same old WWE. We had an Intercontinental title match. We were supposed to have 2 title matches tonight, with Enzo Amore taking on Cedric Alexander, but I guess Enzo has the flu, so that match didn't happen. But we did have Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. If Roman lost the match, by DQ, he would lose. If he lost by DQ, he would lose the title. And this was an out for WWE, and they could have gave Samoa Joe, who has been one of the best that they've had all year on this show, a chance to actually shine and be a champion, and they did not pull the trigger. Unfortunately, they decided to go with the match that we all know is going to happen at WrestleMania. Brock versus Roman. Both are going to be champions going in, and Lesnar's going to lose his Universal title. So that was pretty much confirmed, because if Samoa Joe is not going to take the title off of Reigns, then nobody is. We had a reformation reunion of the club tonight. That is Gallows, Anderson, and Balor, which was awesome. We'll get into that later in the show. We also had, before the show today, like halfway through the day, we had John Cena. John Cena announced himself on Twitter that he is going to enter the Royal Rumble, which means if he is to win, and I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what Meltzer says, I don't care what anyone else says, until I see different, he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to wrestle for the title at WrestleMania. Apparently, maybe the reason he's in the Rumble is because The Undertaker told Vince McMahon no, and that means we are not going to get that big match that they were talking about this past week, and it looks like we're going to go straight back to having John Cena challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And in my book, if they do go with that fatal 5-way in Fastlane, it's going to be Randy Orton versus John Cena for the title at WrestleMania, which nobody wants to see. I don't even want to see AJ versus John Cena. You're not going to top what they did to Royal Rumble in 2017. Why would I want to see it this year? Show started off with Bliss in the back because she got told she was put into a match against Asuka tonight. Which, why is this match happening? It's a WrestleMania quality match. Why is this happening tonight if it's supposed to happen at WrestleMania? But that means me to believe that Alexa Bliss is not long for the Women's Championship.
Well, I thought we'd start off 2018 with a WrestleMania-worthy match.
Well, your thinking is flawed and unfair. I don't know if you remember last week, but Asuka not only interrupted me, she attacked me. Unprovoked, I might add. And yet here you are rewarding her bad behavior with a match against me tonight? I really think you need to rethink things. Plus, Asuka said she's entering the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. So if she wins, she'll actually be facing me at WrestleMania. That should be enough. So, Kurt, let's just start the year off right.
Listen, you're not going to change my mind. If you have a problem with Asuka, you can settle it in the ring tonight. And you're lucky. This isn't a championship match. Yet.
So Kurt Angle's music hits, and he's out to go talk to us about the Women's Royal Rumble match, which they did come up with what's going to happen for this Women's Rumble match at the Royal Rumble, and I agree with the fact that they decided to give us a Women's Royal Rumble match that will have 30 women over the top rope, none of this through the ring ropes thing that we've seen in past Battle Royals, so that was a good thing. He does get interrupted halfway through this.
In 3 weeks, Raw will celebrate its 25th anniversary. And right
Let me turn that mic off.
after that is the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Free agent and 16-time World Heavyweight Champion John Cena has just declared his entry into the Royal Rumble match, the Men's Royal Rumble match. And notice I said Men's Royal Rumble match because there will be a women.
Which, by the way, if he's in the match and he's going to win it, honestly, I believe that's where they're going to go, is that John Cena's going to win the Royal Rumble and he's going to go to WrestleMania to face the WWE Champion, which is either going to be AJ Styles or Randy Orton. I don't see them putting it on anybody else, and I really don't want to see either one of those matches, period.
Men's Royal Rumble match as well. And I guarantee a lot of you are wondering what the rules are going to be for that match. Well, I talked to Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, and we decided what's good for the men is good for the women, so the same rules apply. Which means the women are going to have 30 entrants that come into that ring. Right in here. Each superstar that gets thrown over the top and both feet touch the floor, they will be eliminated. And the winners of the Royal Rumble matches will get a championship opportunity at WrestleMania. Now, I expect Raw to win both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches and main event WrestleMania, but that's just me. But as far as tonight, we have a great show for you.
Then the Bar comes out to disrupt this little meeting between Kurt Angle and what he is saying about the Women's Royal Rumble match. They are not happy with what happened last week and the fact that Kurt Angle played favoritism with his son, Jason Jordan.
Your son did not deserve an opportunity at the Tag Team Championships. And you want to talk about tonight? We want our rematch tonight.
Listen, guys. You'll get your rematch when I say so.
I find it very convenient in this nice little video package here on WWE's .com, on WWE's YouTube page, which is where I get most of these clips. They kind of left out the entire fact that the Bar was grilling Kurt Angle about being having favoritism towards his son. So I think that was just a little convenient with that.
Why don't you say it right now?
Oh, that's convenient for you, isn't it? Whatever you want.
You made this wrestler.
Then Jason Jordan comes out to run his mouth. Definitely getting way overconfident, and that's probably going to lead to a heel turn of his.
Now, my dad doesn't understand the first thing about favoritism. My opportunity last...
They kept that line in there about him saying his dad knows nothing about favoritism, yet they left out the entire part of this segment where they're talking about him being favorite, like, make up your mind, WWE. Either leave that in there or take it all out.
Last week was based off my track record, not my DNA.
Track records. No, we were more like Daddy's boy, huh?
Look, Seth and I, we earned these tag team titles. And Cesaro, if you keep running that refurbished mouth of yours, you're gonna earn yourself another trip to the dentist.
By the way, for the first time since Cesaro messed his, like, that entire incident happened between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and the Bar back in, I think it was what, Hell in a Cell or something? Not Hell in a Cell, but Extreme Rules or something. Cesaro didn't have his mouthpiece in for the first time. You can actually understand what the dude is saying. It has been months that he is, every time he talks, he has the mouthpiece in. And the only person who probably found that funny was Vince McMahon, because you know Vince McMahon's like, if it's funny to me, then it's funny, goddammit. It finally felt, I was like, wow, you can actually understand what this dude is saying. So that was a positive.
Oh, really? Why don't you make that happen?
Guys, whoa. Guys! As general manager, I always say this. We settle our differences in the ring. I want you two to settle our differences
right now.
So Kurt Angle makes a match between Jason Jordan and Cesaro, and then of course Seth Rollins has to come down to try and give a little bit of a lesson to Cesaro, to Jason Jordan to not get level-headed.
What the bar wanted. All right, and what happens when they jump you, okay? What does that do for you? What does that do for us as a team, okay? You don't need to like your partner, but you at least got to worry about their health and safety. You need to be a professional. What you do affects me and vice versa. So I'm here to tell you right now, you need to stop being so self-absorbed. You came out here to brag in front of your dad, and that forced me to come out here to protect my half of the Raw Tag Team titles. So you know what? I'll be in your corner.
That is, boy, you gotta love it. This is the only time it seemed like tonight that Florida was actually into the show.
Look, I'll be in your corner tonight, but the way I see it, I'm only out here to watch you lose.
Sick burn by Seth Rollins, who pretty much, yeah, and then right after that, Cesaro blindsides Jason Jordan and attacks him from behind. They have a pretty good match. Jason Jordan and him having had a pretty good match back and forth. Jason Jordan would pick up the win just because he is Jason Jordan, and they have to start showing him some wins, get him some wins in the WWE. After the match, of course, Jason Jordan, all happy that he won the match, goes up to, comes out of the ring with his tag team title belt. Seth Rollins, just standing there, clapping and showing, yeah, you did it. He ends up raising Seth Rollins' hand. Seth Rollins just holds it up there, looking at him, dude, still not listening to me. He's still being a self-absorbed idiot, or whatever you want to call him. Not being right about it. Seth Rollins looked none too happy with how he looked. After that, we were in the back with Renee Young talking to Roman Reigns about tonight's match. Renee Young, I've got to say, has got to have the hardest job when it comes to talking to Samoa Joe, what she does later in the show, because he just pokes fun at her husband, and she just has to sit there and take it. She has to sit there and take it. And it's just, those are some great interactions. Here was Renee Young with Roman Reigns.
Roman, tonight you're going to be defending your Intercontinental Championship against Samoa Joe. But if you're disqualified like you were last week, you will lose your title. How's that stipulation going to affect your approach?
Well, if you ask me, Samoa Joe got exactly what he deserved. This man has attacked me. He's ruined championship matches, and worst of all, he hurt Dean Ambrose. Before, I would have said Joe's a great opponent for the Intercontinental Championship, but he's not, because he's a punk. He talks like a punk, he walks like a punk, and that's why I punked him out last week. This week ain't gonna be any different. It's gonna be ugly out there, Renee. It's gonna be intense, but unfortunately for Joe, I'm gonna stay within the rules. I hope.
That match, we'll talk about later, but that match, they had so many opportunities to actually do the right thing and give Samoa Joe what his just due, but they just didn't pull the trigger. It was just... Then we had Bray Wyatt versus Apollo Crews and Team Catering out there with him. Bray Wyatt actually in a match in the first show of 2018. And I'm like, okay, fine. So you have to build Bray Wyatt up a little bit for him to ultimately lose to Matt Hardy when those two finally do clash. It was Apollo Crews out there with his team of Catering with, all them. And match came to an end with a wicked clothesline from Bray Wyatt. He goes to do his little bend over spider trick in the corner. Dana Brooke gets up on the ring ropes and starts cheering on Apollo. She gets scared off by Bray Wyatt. He gets kicked in the head. Looks like we're going to get a spin-out powerbomb by Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews, it gets turned into a Sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt is the winner. After the match, you had Matt Hardy show up on the Titantron and cut a promo.
Bray Wyatt, last week I transformed your wicked fireflies into my Woken warriors. I will devour all of the darkness you regurgitate across this plane identified as WWE and convert it into light. You are the consumer of terrestrial entities, but you cannot escape my Woken wisdom for much longer. For I am all around you. I am the omniscient ghost that haunts your dreams. And once Abigail's powers are no more, I will delete you.
Then he starts laughing and they add these effects, these, you know how like you have a picture where you could have like 6 different ones. Well, they keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying it of him laughing, and it's just apparently Vince McMahon really loves the laugh of Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy then goes down to 1, and Bray Wyatt in the ring just has this really weird stare at him, like, what is this guy even doing? Like, he's just all like lost on what he wants to do with that. Then we come to the back and we see Nia Jax with a Tupperware container of what looks like soup or something in her hands, and she looks like she's just leaving the building when Alexa Bliss stops her, and we find out that Enzo will not be putting his title on the line tonight.
I'm sorry. Enzo texts me. He's really sick in the ER with the flu, and he's crushed he can't defend his Cruiserweight Championship tonight. He needs me. I gotta go.
Seriously? Enzo? No, I need you right now, so Enzo's just gonna have to wait.
That's Enzo again. I gotta go.
I can't believe you're being like this with our friendship right now. I need you, and I need you now. But I don't have to do this, but it's either him or me.
I'm sorry. My chicken soup's getting cold.
Has everyone lost their minds?
I don't remember reading anywhere that Enzo was sick, so that's news to me and everybody else who watched Raw tonight that Enzo wasn't going to be here. But that, I guess, gives them another reason to just drag it along. I don't know exactly what's going on. Then we had Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. This match went on way too long, in my opinion. You had Asuka dominate-ish from the first half, in which Alexa Bliss stalled as much as she could. We go to a break, we come back, and it's 50-50 from then on out. Alexa Bliss ends up losing to a spin-out kick into a armbar for a tap-out in what was, it pretty much was a 50-50 match. I think they brought, I know you got to make the champion look strong, but if you're going to have them stall for 95 for half the match and then start showing their colors, it really does bog down Asuka. The fact that they have this match tonight makes me think that Asuka might not even be in the Rumble and she might win the title at the Rumble. Then we had the best promo of the night. The best promo, I think. And this guy, Samoa Joe should have a title around his waist. He should have won the Universal title last year. He should have won the Intercontinental title 2 nights. But WWE just wants to sacrifice everybody to make Roman Reigns look as strong as can be, which nobody's going to buy. This is a great promo. You gotta listen to this.
Championship match, you do not even have to defeat Roman Reigns.
Wait. Don't you worry. I'll beat Roman Reigns, just like I have every time we've stepped into the ring against one another. In fact, what you and the rest of the world need to realize is that I own Roman Reigns. I've mentally broken Roman Reigns. I've exposed Roman Reigns. Wasn't too long ago, Roman was calling himself a fighting champion, and all three members of the Shield, oh yes, they were all going to be great champions together. And because of me, the Shield will never be champions together. Because of me, Dean Ambrose is now a stay-at-home husband living off his wife's paycheck.
Just the look on Renee Young's face when he says this, and she just has that, and then she just shakes her head. It's like, okay, good one.
And because of me, Roman Reigns has become the type of champion who gets himself disqualified to preserve his title. And thanks to me, tonight he does not have that option. In fact, Roman Reigns has run out of options. He's run out of friends, and he's run out of time. Because when I put him to sleep and I become the new Intercontinental Champion, he will understand that it may be his yard, but he lives in my world.
Can somebody please tell me why Samoa Joe has not won the Intercontinental title tonight? Why he did not win the Universal Championship last year? Other than it's for the greater good so they can make Roman look as big, powerful as possible and make Brock Lesnar look as unstoppable as possible. There is no excuse for this guy not to have been a champion in the last year. So they need to actually get their heads out of this and get this guy a championship. He should have been champion at Great Balls of Fire last year. He should have won the Intercontinental title tonight. This guy they're missing the boat with. They've got to get a title on Samoa Joe. This guy is worth more than they have let him be. Then we had Braun Strowman versus Rhino. Big squash match. Halfway through the match, though, Heath Slater keeps getting on the apron, cheering on Rhino, and Braun Strowman walks out of the ring, grabs a mic, and cuts a promo on Heath Slater, and says, "You have two options, cheerleader. Either stay on the floor, and no, let me just let you hear it for yourself. Let me get it back here. You gotta hear this. This is another reason that WWE is like missing the boat with people.
Look, you got two options, you cheerleader. You're either gonna stand on the floor and shut your mouth. You're gonna get in this ring and get these hands like your partner."
Great promo, and he comes in like Braun Strowman gets back in the ring. Rhino distracts him. Heath Slater comes in, and I guess the referee just allows it to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. You have the referee. I just noticed this too. The referee is just like just showing his hands and it's like, "Come on in. We're gonna make this a handicap match, I guess." So like that, it became a handicap match, but it really didn't matter because Braun Strowman beat down both of them, hit them both with an avalanche clothesline. First Slater, then Rhino in the corners. Hit a running power slam on Rhino for the 1-2-3, and then in quick succession hit a power slam on Slater. The crowd asked for it again. He hit another one on both of them. Then it looked like he was about ready to leave, and then another running power slam on both Rhino and Slater to the cheers of the crowd. So the crowd of for Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman is by far a big babyface on Monday Night Raw. And then we go on to the show. What else can you say about this? Braun Strowman is one of the most over guys in the WWE. What else can you say that hasn't already been said about this dude? And why you need to put him in this triple threat match just for him to not take the pin is beyond me. So we will see what they do in the leading weeks. That was only one other time we really saw anything interactive with Strowman tonight, but that was just him making a statement. Will he win the title at the Royal Rumble? No, we know how this is going to go. Kane's going to take the pinfall. Strowman's not going to look weak. Brock Lesnar goes to the Royal Rumble after he defends his title. He's going to go to WrestleMania after defending his title at the Royal Rumble, and he's not going to look weak at all. And we will have Roman versus Brock at Mania because Vince McMahon said so. That's where we go from here. What they do with Braun Strowman heading into WrestleMania is beyond me. I have no idea. It looked like they were building to him and Triple H, maybe, but I guess they threw that away like immediately. Maybe we see him and Triple H at WrestleMania. I don't know, but we will have to wait and see. Then after that, we get cut to the back and we see Seth Rollins and Kurt Angle, and I'm not Kurt Angle, but Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns talking, and Jason Jordan makes an unwelcome appearance in this segment.
Look, I heard what Samoa Joe said to Renee Young tonight. I just want to make sure you're keeping your cool for tonight.
I'm cool. He's a fool, though. You saw what I did last week. And he's still running his mouth. Who does that? He's a joke. He's a joke to me. And tonight I hope Dean Ambrose is watching. I hope he's watching.
By the way, this is just a horrible, cringy promo. Oh, I heard he said he's a fool. He's a fool. He runs his mouth. And this just sounds so cringeworthy from Roman Reigns. This is just a badly written promo.
Oh, the whole world is watching like you. Because there's a few things you do in this world. But you do not mess with our brother. You feel me?
Hey, I feel you, man. Just don't get DQ'd out there tonight, all right? We're both champs right now. I like it to stay that way.
And then Jason Jordan nonchalantly just walks in and decides to run his mouth because he just can't keep himself out of this.
Hey, I know we all have our powerful Samoa Joe, but we're focused on the bar right now. And I'm just going to say on behalf of Seth and myself, if the bar tries to interfere in your match tonight with Joe, we will take them out. Believe that.
Roman ain't happy, and Seth really isn't happy about that little interruption from Jason Jordan. As they cut the break. Then we had a nice little, we just had a little segment after they came back from break with Braun Strowman and Kane having a little interaction with each other.
As strange as this is for me to say, I just want to talk. I want to talk about Brock Lesnar, the beast who I've never faced in the ring before, but you have. Look at us, bro.
They like to skip over that triple threat match that Kane had with Brock Lesnar, and I believe it was the Big Show or Kurt Angle or somebody back in 2002. I know it's not a one-on-one match, but it was pretty much the same what we're going to see at the Rumble.
We're the alpha monsters of WWE. Together, we can tame the beast. And I have a plan. All it takes is being on the same page. I don't care about you or your plan. I'm the only alpha monster around here. And when I take down Brock Lesnar, I'm gonna do it on my own terms.
Then Kane just nonchalantly walks off. Then we get right into another promo segment with Kurt Angle on the phone. Quite honestly, I think Kurt Angle's gonna break the record for how many times I'm on my phone when they come into this segment with me on WWE television, because it seems like almost every time we go cut to the back and he's in his office, he's always on the phone with somebody, most likely Stephanie McMahon, but that is what it is. And in walks somebody who we all want to see in this match between Brock Lesnar and not the two that we have going on into into the Royal Rumble. And he has a couple friends with him, which is going to make a lot of internet fans excited.
30 women in that ring. Anything can happen.
Other than a good match.
One thing's for sure, history will be made.
That's probably the first and only women's Rumble match.
Hey, Kurt. I came in here to tell you in person. I was the first Universal Champion. I never lost that title, and I was never given a rematch. So, if it means going through 29 other superstars to get that rematch, I will. I'm here to officially enter myself in the Royal Rumble match.
That's great, Finn.
Which you have absolutely no chance of winning. I wish we could say otherwise, but we know Finn Balor's not going to win the championship. The next part of this segment is something I hope that this is just a trial, and with the fans like loving it for a second. Hopefully, we'll see more of it as it gets on, and we'll see Finn Balor turn heel and be with these two individuals, and we'll have another faction / team to actually be some in the tag team division, which is certainly lacking credible teams.
I know you'll represent Raw well, but to be honest with you, I thought you came in here to talk to me about something else.
Oh, you mean the 6-man tag team match against the Miz, Taraj, and Elias?
Yeah, you found some partners.
Well, as a matter of fact,
they actually put the original Bullet Club back together for the night.
Kurt, in the past, I've stood beside these two men, and I've stood across the ring from them. And I can tell you for a fact, it's much better to have them on my side. Plus, if it wasn't them, who else would it be? Just a couple of, what's that word?
Should we? Give it to him. Nerds! Oh. Funny.
I really hope that leads to something great between these three, and we actually have a proper Balor Club with Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and Finn Balor as an actual faction running roughshod over the WWE. There's a lot that those three could do for each other. It would get the good fellas, the good brothers out of mid-card purgatory where they're just in catering half the time. And it would give Finn Balor something to do because we know he's not going to be in the title picture, the main title picture, for a very long time, if it ever again. Then came the most disappointing match of the night, in my opinion. You had Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns is DQ'd, he will lose the Intercontinental title, which was an out. They had an out for Roman Reigns to get the title off of him going into WrestleMania. You had Samoa Joe, who would be a great Intercontinental champion, but they dropped the ball here. The last time I saw one of these matches, which was, I believe, Dean Ambrose versus The Miz last year, 2016, where The Miz got DQ'd. Or was it? Yeah, it was last year, wasn't it? If Dean Ambrose got DQ'd, he would have lost the title. That entire match they spent with The Miz trying to build it around how's The Miz gonna get him DQ'd? How's The Miz gonna win this title match? And of course, it did. I don't think it played into the finish. The last time I remember that the DQ stipulation actually worked into the finish of the match was Randy Orton versus Christian for the World Heavyweight title. If Randy Orton was DQ'd, he lost his title, which he did. End up low blowing Christian and Christian ended up winning the championship. They had basically the beginning of this match, Roman Reigns until the first commercial break, multiple times got pulled off by the referee to stop him from getting DQ'd. He kept reminding Roman, if you get DQ'd, you lose the title. As soon as we come back from commercial break, it was just another cookie cutter Roman Reigns match where he just gets beat down 95% of the time, gets back up, comes close to actually getting called the DQ because he picks the stairs up and looks to actually take him to Samoa Joe before the referee intervenes. Then we get back into the ring with these two. Roman gets thrown into the referee. The referee goes to DQ, but Samoa Joe comes to attack Roman Reigns, hits him with a jumping Uranagi for a 2 count, and Samoa Joe argues with the referee. And then it's a typical Roman Reigns end. He gets put into the beginning of the Coquina clutch, rolls Samoa Joe over, hits him with the spear, 1, 2, 3, and Roman Reigns wins. So the entirety of the match was Samoa Joe. If Samoa Joe wins, Samoa Joe can win the title without having to beat Roman Reigns, and they had an out to get the title off of Roman. This match tonight pretty much solidifies that Roman Reigns will take the title in the WrestleMania. Who else are you going to take who else are you going to have take the title off of Roman Reigns if it's not going to be Samoa Joe? There is nobody else. So this pretty much it for Roman Reigns having any credible challengers to actually take the title off of him. You're not going to do it with Balor. You're not going to do it with Wyatt, Matt Hardy, anybody else. There is nobody else. You just have Roman Reigns and you had Samoa Joe, and they should have taken it off of him. Samoa Joe would have been a better champion, a more credible champion. The guy just got a fantastic promo like 20 minutes before the match went on, and they gave him nothing. They gave him a loss. So build all this stuff up. Give us a reason for this match to actually go another way, and you give the title. And he still goes over clean. He wrestles a cookie cutter match of Roman Reigns, get beat down, miss a spear, hit a Superman punch, block this, hit a spear, 1, 2, 3. He's going to do that until WrestleMania. He'll kick out of the F5. I doubt that Brock Lesnar will kick out of the spear. That's the biggest problem I'm going to have with this match going into WrestleMania. You're going to have this guy. This guy is going to kick out of the F5 that Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Goldberg this past year, and others have not kicked out of, but you're going to have Roman Reigns kick out of that, but you're not going to have Brock Lesnar kick out of the spear. I bet you Brock Lesnar does not kick out of the spear just to make it seem like that more devastating move. So you're going to tell me that Roman Reigns' terrible spear, which is not the best spear I've ever seen, it's one of the worst actually. It only gets beaten out by Edge's spear, which is one of the worst spears of all time. And you're going to have him win this match. WWE is going to have to work their butts off to make me want to believe this, and I don't think they can do it. Roman Reigns is going to be booed out of the building in New Orleans. He's getting the polarizing let's go Roman sucks chance right now, but when we get to New Orleans, it will be 95% boos, if not 100%. Especially if he ended up winning the Royal Rumble, which I know he's not going to, because you have the Elimination Chamber on Raw. Then we had Angle watching the monitor in the back when Paul Heyman shows up to talk about a conspiracy with the WWE Championship, or the Universal Championship. I don't want to get the music copyright claim.
Perhaps it is I who can help you. Surely, Mr. General Manager, you know there's a conspiracy going on under your watch.
Yes, the conspiracy that Vince McMahon wants Roman Reigns to be the next Steve Austin and be coronated for the 4th year in a row. Well, I'd say 3rd year, because the first year they got cold feet and decided to give it to Seth Rollins. So that's not the conspiracy he's talking about here, but that's the one we all know that's going on under the watch of Kurt Angle, that Roman Reigns will go to WrestleMania. And we've known this for over a year almost, that Roman Reigns will go to WrestleMania this year, win the championship, also being the Intercontinental Champion, and be a dual champion. They want to try and recreate Warrior and Hogan, and it's not going to work.
Right now, just so we're on the same page, if Braun Strowman and Kane gang up on my client, Brock Lesnar will be proactive, not reactive. For this 2018 shall be the year of the beast.
And so WrestleMania, where it will become the year of Roman Empire as decreed by Vince and Kennedy McMahon. Then we come out to the Cruiserweights, which was supposed to be Cedric Alexander versus Enzo Amore. As we know, Enzo Amore was not medically cleared. I guess he has the flu, according to what I've seen, what they've all said on tonight's show. So you had Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari come out. Drew Gulak read a letter from Enzo Amore talking about how he wanted to be there tonight to beat Enzo Amore, but was unable to due to the flu. Gulak, it's interrupted by Cedric Alexander, who says, which one of you guys is going to take Enzo's place so I can beat you down? Daivari says, they get into a little group, they start talking, and they say, we will have you in a tag team match if you can find a partner, whoever walks down there. Out of everybody, I figured it'd probably be another cruiserweight, maybe Tozawa, maybe Mustafa Ali. We have Goldust. Of all the people, Goldust comes down to wrestle a match with Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa versus Arya Daivari and Drew Gulak. This is like 2 weeks ago when Hideo Itami made his debut. He wrestled with Finn Balor versus the Miz Taraj. Now you're having Goldust with the cruiserweights. Is this them trying to break the cruiserweight belts, like the cruiserweights shackles, and eventually we'll see like a Goldust versus Drew Gulak in a one-on-one match, or Cedric Alexander versus a Seth Rollins, or a Finn Balor versus an Arya Daivari, or Mustafa Ali versus Seth Rollins. I could see that match, and that would be a really awesome match in my opinion. So you had Cedric Alexander and Goldust versus Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari. This match was They both got a little bit of offense out, and then the match pretty much came to an end. You had, and towards the end of the match, this was what's really crazy. You had Goldust, 40 or 50-some-year-old Goldust, come out and like go to the top rope with Arya Daivari and Drew Gulak standing below him and hit a really weird looking side moonsault. He does his little drop down knee, drop to his knees, punch to Drew Gulak, lumbar check to Drew Gulak for the 1-2-3. Goldust and Cedric Alexander win the match. Will we see more of this as we go? I do not know. But it looks like they might be being like, well, we just can't have these guys face each other all the time, so maybe we'll have them integrate. Maybe this is a slow integration with the rest of the Raw roster, because we did have Hideo Itami and Finn Balor versus the Miz Taraj 2 weeks ago, and this week we had Cedric Alexander with Goldust as his tag partner. Goldust pulling off a little bit of a cruiserweight type move off the top rope, which was something I didn't think I'd ever see Goldust actually do at his age. Then you had the Club versus Elias in the Club of Finn Balor, Gallows, and Anderson versus Elias in the Miz Taraj. Elias started his nice little singing group thing, singing performance with the Miz Taraj. It did not go well this time, in my opinion. I think it was just part of it was part of a joke. You had the Miz Taraj singing as horribly as can be. Elias started singing after them. Short and sweet match, pretty much. Balor and Axel started the match through the break. Then Elias gets a tag and takes over. Gallows tags in and takes care of the Miz Taraj. Match ends with a Magic Killer with a coup de grace, and the winners are the Club in a very short match. The best part of the entire segment, though, was after Finn Balor made his entrance before they cut to break. You saw Finn Balor with his arm up in the air, and you had Gallows and Anderson with theirs too, and they all did the two sweets, which, in my opinion, I'm hoping this is not a one-time thing, and we will actually see the Club, the Balor Club of these three guys. Make them heel, give us an actual tag team, like a legitimate tag team. This helps with Gallows and Anderson, gives them something to do, and we could have a lot more. It was a fun little segment, I guess, a fun little match, and it was nice to see Gallows and Anderson and Finn Balor on the same page. I want to see more. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this match itself. I want to see more of the Balor Club, as they should be called. It is something that a lot of wrestling fans want to see, so I would not be mad if we had Finn Balor in a faction with the other two, and we just had the Balor Club for real now. On a side note, before the match started, we did get news that Miz will be back next week. Then, of course, boo, I don't really care. Miz is he's not what he should. He's not really worth talking about much. He will be back next week, so we'll see then. Then we had Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out and cut their promo. And Paul Heyman, as always, is just a wizard of words.
A lot of pressure, man.
Three years out, and that chant is still. It should be 4 years this year, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and it would appear to me as though WWE's New Year's resolution is to once again continue to stack the deck against my client, the reigning, defending, undisputed, Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar!
Lesnar getting a little bit of facial hair on him, I see.
I mean, really? Come on. How else would you explain, once again, Brock Lesnar has to defend his championship against challengers? Challengers, plural. Remember how it used to be? Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, the challenger, singular. But that's not how it happens anymore. At the Royal Rumble, it's the Beast versus the Monster versus the Machine. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against both Braun Strowman and Kane. Now, you all know this trick, don't you? If Braun Strowman beats Kane, Brock Lesnar loses the Universal Championship. If Kane beats Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar loses the Universal Championship. Notice I never said if someone beats Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, because we all know that just ain't gonna happen.
Until Roman Reigns hits you with one spear, knocks you down in 1, 2, 3 at WrestleMania. So, yeah.
Spoiler! Brock Lesnar will successfully defend the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. And I know what the announcers always say in situations like this. When the champion has to defend against multiple challengers, the odds become, in my opinion, Brock Lesnar defends the title 100%. See, it doesn't matter how you stack the deck against Brock Lesnar. You can line up Braun Strowman. Brock Lesnar would defeat Braun Strowman. You can line up Kane. Brock Lesnar would defeat Kane. You can line up all 30 members, all 30 participants, all 30 superstars that enter the Royal Rumble match and have them fight Brock Lesnar collectively or individually, and Brock Lesnar would eat through each and every one of them as well.
That might be a slight exaggeration.
Just the passion you hear in Paul Heyman's voice when he cuts this promo. You don't feel that from almost anybody in the WWE nowadays. Where has it gone? Oh, that's right, they have like 30 or like 20 or 30 writers back there that say you have to say this and nothing else. This is how you can tell Paul Heyman writes his own stuff, or he says what's on his mind. He doesn't actually get tied down to what the writers have to say. That's what makes Paul Heyman one of the best talkers of the modern era.
You're looking at the most dominant champion in the history of World Wrestling Entertainment, and it goes like this. Brock Lesnar fears no challenge. Brock Lesnar fears no challenger. Brock Lesnar fears no challengers. Brock Lesnar does not believe in monsters. And Brock Lesnar highly doubts that Kane is the devil's favorite. Because I've had a one-on-one with the guy down below, and his favorite is the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. Sibo Inferno Orti Primo.
Can I get a translation for that? Because I have no idea what he said at the end of that promo. They go to leave. Looks like they're about ready to leave. Then Kane's music hits, which again, Kane's entrance with no pyro is not a good entrance at all. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. They need to get the pyro back. This whole entire penny pinching thing needs to go. We need to see more pyro. He comes into the ring and looks to make easy work of Brock Lesnar, which
The size of the big red machine.
Kane just startles him, hits him with the choke slam, and Brock Lesnar is down.
An emphatic statement.
Then, just like that, Brock Lesnar sits up like Kane or Undertaker would and just starts laughing. Lesnar brings the title and hits Kane over the top rope, and you have like half the locker room out here. And Lesnar starts beating down on Kane. What's this pull apart here is just so like ugh. One clothesline and half the locker room's out there, and Kane gets pulled away.
Lesnar with a smile on his face went right after the big red machine. Kane being led out of the arena, and a defiant champion staring down the big red machine.
And that's how the show ended. Brock Lesnar, of course, had to readjust his title because he put it upside down the first time. And that was your Monday Night Raw, which was not a good show at all. So basically, it is the same WWE in a new year. We have Roman Reigns wrestling the same type of match you would have from any other show, even though last week felt a little bit better because he didn't win, and he knew going in he wasn't going to win. So let's change it up a little bit. I'll control part of the match, and then cause a DQ to end the match. This week, it's the same old shtick that we're going to see going into WrestleMania, and we're going to see that in WrestleMania. He'll hit one spear, he'll break out of the F5. I can already see how this match is going to end at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar goes for the F5, hits an F5, 1, 2, kick out. Goes for a second F5. Roman Reigns gets down, hits Brock Lesnar with a spear, 1, 2, 3, and your new champion is going to be Roman Reigns. If that is exactly how that happens, you heard it from me first. Other than, they also had Bayley, Sasha Banks, and all three members of Absolution pretty much say in these nice little festive backgrounds, that they are going to be entering the Royal Rumble. And quite honestly, as I've said before, I don't care about this match. I like the fact that they gave it the same stipulations and the same rules as the Men's Rumble, so that's a check for me. But that's going to be weird because how many times have we seen a women's battle royal in WWE have any type of stipulation like that, where it's over the top rope? It's always been, no matter how you throw them out, if it's under the bottom rope, if it's in the middle rope, if it's over the top rope, it didn't matter. So to see them actually have to go over the top rope is going to be different. We'll see. There wasn't as much shoving down our throats this week of the Women's Royal Rumble, other than, of course, those three promos, but we didn't have to see the Stephanie McMahon promo again, which is the last time, the less I have to see of that promo, the better, other than, the Royal Rumble thing. But that is Monday Night Raw for you in a nutshell. Monday Night Raw was, we did miss out on the Cruiserweight Championship match because Enzo is supposedly sick. I don't know exactly if he is or not, if they were just, saying, well, we don't want to have the match yet, and they'll probably drag it on and on and on as they can to get it to the Royal Rumble. Which, if that's the case, if this Cruiserweight Championship match gets pushed all the way back to the Royal Rumble, then why didn't you just announce it for the Rumble? Why didn't you just announce it for the Royal Rumble and just waste our time tonight? So, we'll see what happens next week. We will be here for tomorrow for SmackDown Live, which has Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles, which, if giving the proper time, I bet you these guys can put on a stellar match. But this is WWE and it's SmackDown, so I don't think they're going to give them enough time. And of course, the commercial breaks are going to be in the way. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that give me a comment down below what you guys think so far. Once again, thank you to everybody who watched or listened to my review last week. It did 1.5 thousand views. I still don't know why. And I don't know if I'll ever hit that again. If I do, I appreciate it. Thank you all for the new subs too. We went from 65 to 88. That is 23 new subs in a week. That is a record for my channel. Quite honestly, it is. I mean, come on. Thank you guys. Make sure I be here tomorrow. I will be back, and I have something I want to show tomorrow, but I'm going to leave it till then. You guys have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, alright, wherever you're at in the world, and I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live. Till then, peace out.